About a month ago, I made a video on trip in Bosnia, how to connect SD90 with Cubase version SD9 elements. Same story was with Cubase SD9 Pro. Just Cubase SD9 Pro has a little bit more functionality than Cubase Elements. This time I have Cubase 10. I upgraded to Cubase 10. I want to see are there any changes. Can I get a little bit better connection? Can I work a little bit smoother than it was before? I was skeptic because SD90, same operating system, nothing is changed there, just Cubase is changed a little bit, so I didn't expect that it is going to be any big difference, but still I tried to do some connection and to see how it works. I'm connected with USB cable. Here you can see USB cable. This one is connected to my computer, and I tried everything, and I will just show you what is the best setup and what is the most successful setup to do that. You will go to menu. When you get to menu, go to MIDI, and then just make two setups. One setup here, style only. In style only setup, go to arranger, and transmission messages, put channels, whatever you want to put channels, but you have to match same channels with output and input. But it is better to keep channels, original channels that are in style mode in Ketron. So drums 9, drums 10, drums 110, drums 2 9, bass 5, channel there is 6, 7, 8, 11, and in 12 is for those chord parts, pad parts, and phrase parts. And then lower 1, lower 2 is 13, 14. Then I have 2, 3 for sounds, and for second sound I have channel number 4. So that is about my channels. Receiving messages, nothing, everything on off except global on 1. Why global on 1? In default, global is not on 1, but it has to be on 1. In this case, if I am using SD90 module, because I want to play arranger keyboard, and by the time I'm playing as arranger keyboard, I want to record everything. So if I don't put here global 1 and my controller on that same channel, I will not be able to play that keyboard as arranger keyboard. So that's why it has to be global 1 in receive mode. In send mode, you saw already everything. Now exit. Now clock in is activated because I want to make sure that I have synchronization between Ketron and Cubase. That's why it has to be activated. And after that, you have to activate USB MIDI keyboard, because without this activation, you will not achieve any connection. You will not be able to see MIDI gadget that is actually your Ketron under Cubase list of MIDI devices. So in this mode, I will be able to record everything by the time I am playing without any interruption. When I finish recording and when I put my idea, hold my idea, then after that, I will go to next setup. I will go from this setup to standard setup that I made. Standard setup, I don't need any more clock in. I will just need USB MIDI keyboard. And then I will go to arranger keyboard and see my setup, my setting, what do I have. Now, in sending messages, I have only on here, on channel number 2, I'm just sending message. So now on receiving, I am receiving all those same channels that I had in the previous setup. 10, drums 1, 9, drums 2, 5 bass, 6, 7, 8, 11, and 12 are accompaniment parts. And then I have here 13, 14 for lower, 2, 3, 4, and I don't need those 16, 15, but I have them here because the same setup I am using for my live performing, and on channel number 16 I am receiving messages from my songbook, Unreal book, and channel number 15 I am receiving messages for Harmonizer. So anyway, those two channels, just forgot about them for now. They are here for me because I need it for my live performing setup, and I need the same that standard template that I'm using for my studio and for live performing. So same setup for two variation of performing or using. Now that is everything here that you should do here on your KetronSD90. I just want to mention one thing here. If you are using that in studio, it has to be activated, USB MIDI keyboard. If you are using that in live performing, don't activate that. Don't activate that, because now you are doing connection through MIDI, regular MIDI connection, and then you are using that options that I showed you on 16 and 15 channels for live performing to receive messages from iPad and Unreal Book. Now let us go to continue about talking about studio. Now in studio, yes. Why USB MIDI? Because I am using template that is made for sounds that I want to control from my arranger. If I want to work with KetronSD90 and I want to use it in my studio without possibility to play it as arranger, just like a general MIDI equipment, then I will use this connection, USB MIDI general MIDI. In this case I'm using that, but I'm using that in arranger mode as arranger. So that's why I have that option. If I'm using in this option, I have to take care about this setup. If I'm using in as arranger, I have to take care about this setup. So that's it about Ketron. What do we have to do here? Now let us go to a computer and see what do we have to do on computer. Okay, now let me see which kind of setup do I have on my computer in Cubase10. Let me go to Cubase10, open Cubase10, and see how it works here. Now I'll open project that I already saved here. It's called test. Now when I have that project test opened, I will erase this. Now I will make sure that everything is connected. On my SD90, if you remember, I am using MIDI setup style output only. It's engaged button clock in and USB MIDI keyboard. But here, let me see what do I have here. In Cubase, bass guitar is channel number 5, drums channel number 10, drums 2 channel number 9, and accompaniment 1, 6, 2, 7, 3 or pad 8, phrase or 4, 11 and 12. Now I have MIDI channel 2, MIDI channel 13, MIDI channel 14. Okay, I called this track MIDI number 1, but it is channel number 2. I can put it here any name. Now when I have this setup, I have to see what is here with synchronization, project synchronization setup, destination, MIDI gadget. I have to put check mark and say OK. Now synchronization between computer and SD90 is ready. Now I will go to the beginning, the track, press recording for all those channels. Now I will play something. Play something by starting a recording on my Cubase. I should be able to start my SD90. This recording button for Cubase, and yeah, it is recording. stop. Let me see. Okay, I can see physically recording is done. Those are 2 empty tracks. I can get rid of them. Now I will go to my module and I will choose another setup, standard setup. I don't need clock in, but I need USB MIDI engaged. Now let me go to the beginning of the song and let me play it. It doesn't play. I will go here to Studio, Transport, Project Synchronization. I don't need any more synchronization because now I'm listening to recording. By the time I switch from style output only to standard, at the moment button USB MIDI keyboard was disconnected, and I did connect it again, but still I cannot hear sound. Now I will here save this project. I will try to start Cubase again. So restart Cubase and to see is that going to be sound after restarting. It should be sound because my connection is proper connection. I am just now restarting project, not doing anything else on keyboard. On keyboard is in a USB MIDI keyboard mode with standard setup, enable receiving messages. That's my project, start. I will start that project. I will check on that project. I will go to see under Studio, more option, MIDI device manager, Ketron. Yeah, MIDI gadget is shown here. It should work. There is no information that is missing. It is there. Let me play. But before I start playing, I will make sure that synchronization is not engaged. I don't need it anymore. It is not. But it is showing MIDI gadget. That means it is connected. Now I should be able to hear sound. Yeah. That is that sound. That is actual recording. Now we are able to listen actual recording. Somehow we lost connection by the time we were switching from style output only to standard, and at the moment USB MIDI was disengaged. Now what we had to do now, we had to restart Cubase or sound module, but it is much faster to restart Cubase. Now let us listen. Let us actually see synchronization. I will open bass guitar, make it bigger, and see that actually everything is recorded, but it's slightly auto synchro. So it is, look at, moved here. Now what I'm going to do, I will click to this track twice and open it. Now I have all tracks opened, so everything that I recorded, I will select all, and I will just physically move it here. Actually, a little bit more. And now it should be synchronized. Let me see. Yeah, it should be synchronized all the way through the song. I will now close this window and go track by track. Track by track. Yeah, it is synchronized. It's slightly, these drums are not. Yeah, this is not. It still is not synchronized. What I can do here, I can click on everything, select everything and quantize. Now let me see, is everything okay now? How it play now? I'll play from here. Yeah, it is okay now. I didn't have too much problems like previous with Cubase 9, and I was able to do some recording with that USB cable connection. And after a couple tricks like moving tracks and quantizing them, I got proper synchronization of the recorded material, and now I can continue my work. I can continue to record whatever I want to record on here. Track number 1, it is actual MIDI channel number 2, and whatever I record here, when I record, I can move it to any of those tracks. Because remember, in this setting, standard setting, I'm sending only MIDI messages to channel number 2. In this case, I will not have any problem if I'm continuing doing that job with this project that I want to work under a USB MIDI keyboard connection as arranger keyboard. If I want to work as a USB MIDI general MIDI connection, then I will not have those problems, but in this case I cannot use my sound module for live performing and recording all tracks at the same time by the time I am getting ideas and composing songs. Now another reason why I like to work on this way is because now if I work on this way through USB MIDI keyboard as arranger keyboard, now I can be able to control everything through my template. If I go to my template, open device, in my template I have two setups. One is using that as a general MIDI keyboard, and another preset voices. In preset voices mode, if I'm using this as arranger keyboard, all my sounds are in a group of the sounds, or nicely organized. Organ sounds, accordion sounds, guitar sounds, string and sample sounds. So I am sending MSB message, I'm sending, and program change message. That is only needed to send, nothing else. So I did it with help of one thing here. I will show you what that was. I made my template using this table, SD9 table. SD9 table. We have here general voices, and we have messages for them. Bank A is CC, is actually that message. Here it is actually, just a moment, let me open that. It is MSB message. That is that message. Here, come on, yeah, MSB message. That is MSB message here, and this value for that message is 0. Bank B is 1, Bank C is 10, Bank D is 11. So that's value for that message. And beside of that value, I have to put number, program change message is here. So it looks like this. For example, Bank B, this sound, dark ground piano on Bank B will be value 1, number 2, actually it will be number 1, because counting in Cubase is from 0 to 127, and in actual model is from 1 to 128. That's why we will always put one number lower that is shown here. But what I like, that is if I'm using that as a general MIDI, but if I'm using that as a arranger, then I'm using those presets. Voice banks, there is bank, so CC, for example, 0, bank 1, classic. Okay, there is just a moment. This is from 1 to 128 is bank 1. Now there is bank 2, and that ensemble, actually it is called here, this is bank 0. It is treated as a bank A0, and bank B1 is here, ensemble. So if I want to send message to use this sound, I should be on bank B. That means MSB message is going to be 1. And program change message is going to be 0. Because it's one number less than this number that is showing here. Let me see, is that correct? 1, 0 for calling ensemble. Let me go in Cubase. Okay, now value 1, it should be that ensemble. Yeah, it is correct. MSB is value 1. Ah, come on. Let me not highlight. 1, and there is 0. That is correct. So now, if I'm using a arranger keyboard, I am dealing with presets, not general MIDI sounds, like here. Not general MIDI voices. I'm using presets. And in this case, as I told you, my presets are nicely here organized in group of instruments, guitars, accordions, organs. When I close this, everything is actually here. Now, if I go here, and then go here, instead of general MIDI voices, preset voices, remember that voice, string, and ensemble. When I press it here, I will call that instrument from Cubase. I will call it on my sound module. So that is cool stuff here. But now, as you can see, it works. It is recorded, sound is there, and it works. Track by track. And now I can see some things that by the time I was playing, sometimes if it's something late, then I got some unwanted sounds like here. Look at that sound, because I was a little bit late when I changed chord. So I can get rid of this sound, just erase it like this, or I can go here under MIDI functions, delete notes, and if I press here, look at, but before I do that, just a moment, I want to make this smaller. Look at, I have a couple of mistakes. One is here, another is here. So I will select all. MIDI functions, delete notes, now OK, and they are gone. Now it's just clear and clean recording. Now for bass guitar, I can do 1/16 note quantize. And now everything is perfect. Perfect for bass guitar. This one is okay. Select all 1/16 note quantize, or even what is there? I can go select all for bass guitar. I can go 1/8 note quantize. Okay, and now it's perfect. Yeah, 8 note quantize. I can solo. Everything is working perfectly. Okay, that is how it works. SD90 Cubase 10. Thank you for watching this video.